Hey, shalom everyone. This is Chris Shoemaker, also known as Yehuda ben Shomer, and welcome to the Daily Drosh. Today's Daily Drosh is taken from Deuteronomy chapter 23, verses 15 and 16, and it reads, "When runaway slaves from other countries come to Israel and ask for protection, you must not hand them back to their owners. Instead, you must let them choose which one of your towns they want to live in. Don't be cruel to runaway slaves." Now this ancient verse has so many modern day applications and so many applications on so many different levels, and hopefully we'll be able to touch on just a few of them today. Now, first of all, God commanded Israel, this verse, to remind Israel, to call to Israel's attention to say, hey, remember, your ancestors were once slaves in the land of Egypt, and when they left Egypt, nobody would accept them into their country. There were very few countries and people that would even let you pass through to get food or water, and I gave you the promised land. So you remember how it feels. Your ancestors remember how it felt to be slaves and to have nobody to help them. And I don't want anybody else to feel that way. So Israel, I want you to open your borders and open your doors and to allow people to come and live that are escaping tyranny, that are escaping dictatorships or slavery or what have you. And so this is very applicable to the Western world, whether you live in Canada or the United States. Many democratic free countries have these laws to where they accept asylum seekers. And asylum seekers is somebody who's seeking refuge and protection from the country that they come from, whether it be because of religious persecution, whether it be because of political persecution, or what have you. And so we are to take in those that are seeking asylum and that are in need and that are escaping hardship or tyranny. And so that's another application there too. And also, I'd like to call to your attention that in the book of Philemon, the Apostle Paul was in prison with a guy named Onesimus, and he was a runaway slave. So, you know, the scriptures command, don't send a runaway slave back to their owner, but that's exactly what the Apostle Paul did. So what's the difference? Why is Paul breaking Torah? Because Onesimus became a believer while in prison, and the slave owner was named Philemon, and Paul knew Philemon, and he said, Philemon, look, I know that you're a believer just like me. I know that Philemon, I know that your slave Onesimus wasn't very useful to you, and he ran away for whatever reason, but he's now become a believer. You know, he's not just your slave, he is your brother. So I want you to accept him back as a brother. And when he comes back, treat him as a brother. He's been very profitable to me, so now I know he's going to be profitable to you. So also another application for this verse is that in a remez kind of way, or in a way the Bible is trying to allude to the fact that if somebody comes to us for help, you know, let's say that we're walking down the street and somebody comes running and screaming, help, help, help. You know, maybe they're being chased by somebody, or they're in trouble. There's been a terrible accident or something like that. We are obligated to help. We do not have the right just to walk away. We are obligated to help that person in whatever capacity that we can. And so whether it be we make a phone call to the police, we call 911, or we take that person in our car and take them to a safe place, whether it be a shelter or what have you. We can't just turn a blind eye to somebody who comes to us that's seeking help. And another practical way that we can fulfill this verse is there's great organizations. One is called Stand Against Slavery, and it's a Christian organization that stands against slavery, whether it be human trafficking, slave trade, forced labor, what have you. There's another great organization called Crossing Borders, and it's actually helping North Korean defectors, come to safe countries to where they can live in freedom and are no longer oppressed by the North Korean regime. So those are some other practical ways that you can actually take that verse and make it applicable to your daily life. So in this daily drush, I just want to remind you that the Lord has called you to help other people. So when somebody comes for you to help, we don't have the luxury or the permission by God just to turn a blind eye and turn away. We are to help them in any way, shape, or form. And it may not be, in a great, huge capacity, but maybe just a phone call to 911, maybe a few bucks to help somebody get something to eat or get back on their feet, or maybe a ride to take them to a friend's house, a family member's house, or a safe place. So just remember remember, if love your neighbor as yourself. If you were in that person's position, you would want somebody to help you too. Thanks for watching, and that's it for the Daily Drosh for today. Shalom, Shavua Tov, have a great day.